Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Jeff and today we're going to have some fun playing Magic, and maybe not so much fun as we're going to be going for the cash today. We are playing in the $2,000 Arena Open event, and I actually didn't know this, so I wanted to showcase it at the very beginning, is that when you get into the Arena Open, you actually get the 5 full art lands with Godzilla. Love these lands so much, and so that's one extra perk. If you guys, I mean, by the time I put this up, you probably will have already done it, but I hope you guys did well with your guys' stuff. I'm going to be running this deck here. So the deck I'm deciding to run today is this Hush Weenies. And so let me go ahead and just jump into the deck first. I actually really like how this one turned out. So I played a version of this deck beforehand, and I had a bunch of Hushbringers in the sideboard. I decided to go ahead and kind of rebuild this deck to where it's better for best of one with Hushbringer in the main deck. And I really think that Hushbringer is just a really good piece here because of all of the Agents of Treachery that are still in the format until hopefully January 1st. June 1st. I really hope with the bans that Agent of Treachery is gone, but Hushbringer does kind of shut down that game plan. And so we went down 2 Ginger Brutes, and I think it was 2 Sentinel's Eyes. I went down 1 Sentinel's Eyes and 1 Sentinel's Mark. That's what it was. 2 of the Sentinels, and otherwise it's pretty much the same deck. Ginger Brute, I just was noticing like against the cycling deck, they actually have Footfall Crater, which can stop the being ability to swing in with haste and, you know, not be blocked. They can just give something haste. There's enough stuff in mono red that this kind of gets around, and so Hushbringer just felt like another good piece with all the aggro decks that are the other side of the format that we really need to deal with as well. Having another flyer with lifelink, putting all this stuff on it, and we're able to take maybe a turn off to get the Hushbringer out, that it still worked out pretty well for us, being able to counter all of the triggers of everything out there that's super annoying. The biggest deck that's going to be a struggle for us is probably the Winota, the new 4-color Winota deck that everyone's been running recently, with a Burial Grazer getting out Winota even quicker, you know, hitting in and just stealing all their stuff. We have so many cards for protection. We have God's Willing, we have All Seed of Life's Bounty, and we have Kmetra's Blessing, all for protection or hexproof to get away from the trigger of Agent of Treachery, which we should be able to survive through 1 or 2 turns with triggers like that. I'm not sure if we can survive many more than 1 or 2 triggers, especially if they start going after our lands. Luckily, our deck can run on 1 or 2 lands pretty easily, but we don't necessarily want to. And if they get us down to 0 lands, because we're only going to have 1 or 2 lands on the battlefield, you can't play Magic with 0 lands. That's just how it goes, you know. So anyway, that's probably our biggest matchups that we're worried about. The rest of them, we have, if we draw well, we do really well. This is definitely more of an explosive deck where we're hoping to draw the right curve. We do have some redundancy here with Lurrus being able to bring stuff back from the graveyard to put things on, which again, I'm also hoping Lurrus gets banned after this format. I'm really hoping in June that we get rid of all the companions. Personally, I'd actually love to have them in the main deck, but get rid of them from companion side of things, because I think it's just ridiculous, way too overpowered. But overall, this is the deck, and so let's go ahead and jump into it, see how it does for us, and wish me luck. Dude, this is like nerve-wracking submitting this deck for it. All right, we're gonna submit it. I did just barely change the lands to the Godzilla lands, because I mean, come on. We just got the Godzilla lands. You got to be playing with the Godzilla lands. And I'm not going to really edit as much in between these games, because I want to have as much of my thoughts onto this as possible. I'm going to try to talk through it, but also think through it as best I can. For me, actually, honestly, talking through my stuff, when I'm talking to chat or talking to you guys, sometimes I play worse. But I've noticed that I sometimes just do better when I'm actually talking, thinking my thoughts out loud. Sometimes when I say something like, no, that's a dumb thing to think, I actually stop myself rather than going forward with it. So this hand, it looks pretty good. We don't have, there's not any companion on their side of the board, which probably means it's the Winota deck. There's a good chance of that. I think I'm going to go for, we're going to keep this because it's a good curve. We have Hushbringer, which can stop the Winota deck. We have a lot of like 2-drop enchantments, which isn't quite as good. Let's go Ginger Brute. I'm going to turn up my audio right after this. When I play normally, I turn down my audio quite a bit. Bay of Wishes, decent blocker. Alrighty then. So this is going to be like a mono blue deck. Solid Footing with Sentinel's Mark and everything can be pretty powerful. We also have this at flash speed. I'm debating if I want to just get a Hushbringer now, have a flyer kind of in the air. All that glitters can be pretty nice as well. We could go Sentinel's Eyes, haste in, deal 2 points of damage. Debating if I just want to get out creatures now, or maybe like all that glitters. We may just want to hold up the Commetra's Blessing. So let's go Sentinel's Eyes onto the Ginger Brute. We're going to hold up Solid Footing because it has Flash. I don't think we care to Commetra's Blessing, but we'll go ahead and swing. I'm not really caring to block anything of theirs after this. Okay, that's fine. There was a chance they didn't block there because they may want to try to keep it alive, but might as well go for that. All right, not just mono blue, probably Simic Flash. Intriguing. Okay, we're gonna go for Solid Footing onto Ginger Brute. Hopefully no bounce spell here. But getting this pumped is really nice. If we can hit land, we'll go all that glitters, swing in, try to just pound our way through basically, and still hold up Commetra's Blessing. Okay, there we go, land. Dude, I love these lands so much. They are beautiful. We do get to hit based off our toughness. All the glitters might be a bigger hit later, and I'm kind of expecting a counter spell here. And so I'm going to go for the Sentinel's Mark now. With Lurrus, it's kind of okay to throw some stuff to the graveyard. This lets us gain life as well as swing in for a big hit, which gaining life can slow down the Simic, or sorry, yeah, the Simic Flash deck, which is, I guess, what I'm expecting. It could just be Adventures. Or just a control deck. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. Let's see if they block this time. Yep, they do. I'm going to hold up Commetra's Blessing for protection rather than for counter spells. Wilderness Reclamation. All right, that's right. I forgot about that. All right, so we're looking for some other stuff here. All right, now we need to close out the game soon, basically as quick as possible. More lands is nice. So all that glitters onto Ginger Brute. They've already countered stuff. Guess they haven't played too many things yet. All right, that's annoying. Yeah, I can't pay for. Attack in. Down to 16, past the turn. If we hit land, we can Lurrus and maybe replay all the glitters. We do have to worry a little bit about Storm's Wrath. They have to find another mountain before they can really do that, though. They could have a pretty dead hand from this point. They might just like bring back Fae of Witches, try to dig for something that actually matters. All right, Shark Cycles, that's fine. They can start racing a little bit here. Hushbringer not quite as good in this deck. I think that they do still run, I think, a couple of Agent Treacheries just with ramp. I can't remember if they do or not. Glaring Aegis isn't bad. All right, so Glaring Aegis, tap down the Shark. We have Solid Footing and we have it Vigilant right now. So we actually get to swing in for a big hit here. Tap you down. Get a hit in for 6. All right, we'll Commetra's Blessing as well. That also gets rid of the Brazen Bar, which is really nice. Do I show the last card in hand or try to go for it? I mean, we might as well get down. They're going to have to answer the Ginger Brute first before anything else. So if they do kill all of our stuff, we can Lurrus and hopefully bring back enough pressure with the Hushbringer. I think that's our best shot. We get a hit in for 8 next turn. If we hit land, We can Luris and... Another Kametra's Blessing is lethal. They're opting right now. Ooh, man. What can you find? One on bottom. Okay. Rose Spiral digs again. I mean, they get to untap, so if they have an Expansion Explosion, they could maybe have enough here. All right, so no Expansion Explosion. Not enough lands to play Luris and anything else. So we're not going to show our hand just yet. Another Brazen Bar would be really annoying. They got to dig a few deep to try to find something. So Fae of Wishes, find destroy target artifact. They're not going to have enough mana for that. Swing in here, bring them down to 2. I think they'll just let this happen. We can maybe go for Luris, hope that they don't have Storm's Wrath. That might give us a better shot at actually closing out the game later. Down to 2. Do we go for the Luris or not? Having the all that glitters just kind of on hand might be really, really nice here. Because if we do have to... The other thing too is, like, if they do somehow find a way to kill Gingerbrute, we can play it out and something onto it and still give it haste if we've already played out Luris. It just gives us a little bit better chance to go for lethal on the next turn. So I think we go for the Luris here. We still have a creature in hand, which we can hopefully go for the win with. Yeah, so I think that we just play it out and pass the turn. They can only Expansion Explosion X4 at the moment. They get to Scry. They've dug really deep so far, but I don't know how many answers they can actually get. 2 on bottom. Okay. No upkeep Scry. Cycles. All right. Expansion Explosion might be their only hope here. And nothing. Oh my goodness, nothing. Okay. So this has Flash as well. So we're going to go ahead and I think we just go for it. We have no protection. This is freaking me out. Okay. I don't think they've got anything. Whew. All right. Sweet. Game 1 in the bag. Keeps one on top. And opponent scoops it up. There we go. Whew. Dude, that was nerve-wracking. Okay. We done did it, though. We done did it. Whew, dude. When all the money is on the line, it's definitely more nerve-wracking to play this. All right, 1-0 is where we want to be. And that's what I've seen with this deck, is that I was actually looking at all the metagame decks on Aether Hub. And not this version of the deck, but other versions of this deck in Best of 1 have the highest consistent win percentage than anything else. It's at a 70% win rate versus the other ones being a little bit lower. We're going to keep this. Glaring Aegis is really nice. If we run into Solid Footing and Sentinel's Mark or some way to give it Vigilance, we have pretty close to a lethal turn 3, I believe. It's getting a little bit closer. Okay, Healer's Hawk go. Pass the turn. Let's see if they get a stomp on this or not. We'll go for Life's Bounty. I want to go Sentinel's Eyes now as well. They might have a shock or a stomp. Okay. Swing in. Trying to get as much damage on the board as possible. They may have the Deafening Clarion, and that's where Glaring Aegis might have been the better play. In fact, it probably was. I forget that this deck doesn't really play this stomp as often, right? 2 on top. That's not a good sign. Deafening Clarion. Alright, Teferi's not as bad. They get the Bounce Healer's Hawk. We lose Sentinel's Eyes, but we can bring it back pretty easily. We get to kill Teferi and replay our Healer's Hawk. All that glitters is nice. A Healer's Hawk. Attack in. It's a fairy. So Shatter the Skies would be really, really annoying here. What we could do is we can Glaring Aegis onto both of these, keep them alive. Lurrus can bring back the All Seed of Life's bounty as well. So what I might do is just Glaring Aegis the Healer's Hawk. If it's Shadow the Skies, we don't get to do anything anyway, except maybe protect another Teferi. So pass the turn, keep up protection. Fires of Invention, do they also have the Shatters? Alright, Omen of the Sun, that's fine. That is just fine. They get to gain life, go up to 20 again. Alright, do they have Luca for the next turn? And we need to have protection up, so we will. Okay, Plains. All that glitters onto Healer's Hawk. Yeah, we're gonna go all out damage dealing as much as we can. Tap you down, hold up protection for the agent trigger. Down to 13, pass the turn. So they can Luca, Agent, and then bounce with Yorion here. And still two things. So they have it all. Of course they have it all. Every time. We're going to lose our All Seed of Life's bounty, but then we get to swing in pretty aggressively. We can Lurrus, play All Seed again. So sacks. Let's see what they trigger first. They probably ought to just go for our lands. Alright, so protection from blue. And now the Yorion bounce doesn't actually do much of anything. They get to go Agent again on the next turn. If we find... let's see, they go back up to 15. We're still protected from blue. So they get to steal a land, so we can Lurrus, play All Seed, but not have protection available.
I was trained to fight monsters, not rogues like you.
So even if they steal one of our enchantments, it's still technically attached to our Healer's Hawk, and so it wouldn't change anything as far as them stealing it. They would just own it attached to our Healer's Hawk. So that'd be totally fine. And then if it dies, it would go back to our graveyard. One on top, one bottom. Hitting lands is kind of nice. We know that they have... Yeah, we had to hit protection on that turn, I think, to have a shot here. They just had the perfect curve, and that happens sometimes. We could swing at Luca. Force the chump here. I think getting the life total low is better, though. Maybe. Swing at face. Yep, they chomp. We go up to 37. But we're still so far away from being able to do much of anything. So we can see how many Agent of Treacheries this deck is going to have. We could potentially win even through all of the craziness. They'll probably have Elspeth Conquers Death for Lurrus. And if we can still just kind of build a Voltron after everything, there's a small shot. Kills Lurrus. Okay. Are they gonna steal our Lurrus?
War, surround me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, it is the best deck in Standard. I think that our deck definitely has a decent shot against it at times, but not with that curve. And not without, you know, more of our protection. We have 12 cards in here to hopefully find more than one piece, but sometimes you just don't get it. All right, 1-1, not a great start. Like, I feel like our deck still did a lot of what it was trying to do. We just didn't get the extra copies of protection that we just need to have against that deck. All right, we have a creature, we have protection, we have enchantment, so we keep it. Nothing for turn 1, which is a little bit wonky with this deck, but it's fine. That's also one reason I went up to 14 creatures rather than the earlier version of the deck only had 12, and so you have to have an opening hand with a creature. So I think having 14 just feels like it's curving out a lot better for me. Do they attack in? We would love to trade off here. Let's go. I think we just go aggressive. I think that they're not gonna be able to actually deal with our stuff after this. So let's go all that glitters. This makes it a 3/5. Maybe we're protected a little bit more on the toughness side. Hopefully we can gain enough life. It just taps it for 1 turn, so it doesn't actually matter. Once we can give this vigilance as well, though, we're going to be in really great shape. I think going on the aggro plan here is definitely the best. Once Obosh is out, it can be annoying, and if they just go for the insane runaway turns, that'll be bad. So hopefully we can find some more enchantments. We'd love to find a way to give it vigilance. That'll let us go way, way out of their realm. Okay, down below starting life total. Bummer. We can also Luris hold up protection. Gain some life that way. Swing in. If we can gain life and trade off, we're in pretty good shape. So past the turn, the biggest flaw is if they have like double shock here. Oh, this deck, I just recognized they might have Embercleave instead. So they don't have... Yeah, I'm so used to seeing Obosh up in this corner that I was expecting it, but they don't seem to. I feel like this is still an Embercleave turn. They are getting these guys a little bit bigger. We're gonna go for a pretty big hit. Or just Torbrand. Okay, Torbrand. Also not great. Oh boy. You really need vigilance really bad now. Alright, gets to deal some damage in. They could also have shock still. It's also still potentially Embercleave. See if they have the Embercleave. With the extra damage, I don't think we quite lose because we get to block with Luris and gain life. But we're not in great shape. We're actually needing some creatures to be able to do some stuff. All right, so who do they target? Perfect. All right, so unfortunately, we don't actually get to kill this, but protection from red. We get to hit in for 4 extra points of damage, 5/6 with Kmetra's Blessing. We get so much more if we find something that has vigilance as well. So I think we put it to the bottom. Yeah, so they get to do extra damage here. We go up to 2. Yeah. Okie dokie then. We can maybe try and kill the Torbrand. So Hushbringer. All right, so we still have a shot at lethal here. Let's hope that they don't block at all. Because then we can solid footing, which does have flash. And then Kmetra's Blessing as well to give us... okay, yeah. Yeah, that's game. Yeah, good game. Oh, so close. They definitely have way too much damage to be able to do anything about that after the fact. I mean, we could have kept Luris alive pretty easily as well, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, no blocks. They had it all. We actually had a sweet hand, a sweet run at it, but just... they just had literally the perfect draw. All right, up against Matthias Mara. Bring it on, and we're gonna keep this. This is a perfect hand up against a Luris deck as well. A mirror match would be pretty sweet. Love these card backs; those are sweet. Why is MTG Assistant popping up here? I don't want you. There we go. Oh man, hopefully we can actually finish this one out. I feel like I have the worst luck when it comes to actually doing events. Although I've had many events where I'll lose like the first 2 games or just like this, and then I'll go on a streak of winning like 5 in a row. And maybe I can actually close this one out. We'll see. They're gonna have active treason. I'm gonna cry. I think we could just put out 2 creatures here. Play out the Hushbringer, stops the cat oven stuff. They still get to create the food token. It's whenever a creature triggers something. And that's part of the trigger before the actual death trigger anyway. But stopping the cat from actually coming in and gaining them life will actually be really helpful for our aggro side of things. But we'll probably have to spread out the enchantments a little bit here. Footlight Fiend. Do we have any flash stuff? All right, so they can instant speed kill a Healer's Hawk. So I think that we just go for a bigger Hushbringer. We don't get to spread it out quite like we were wanting to. Active Treason is still such a blowout for us. Tap them. Priest of the Forgotten Gods is something that will be pretty annoying. With Luris, we can hopefully play enough creatures as it goes along. Down to 14. This is one of the matchups that we should be favored for. I've not really tried this matchup with Hushbringer in the main board. All right, they've got Claim the Firstborn. Of course they do. So this, I was gonna say that it shouldn't keep the stats, but it does, because the All the Glitters is based off the number of enchantments that I control, and I do control all those ones, so I didn't get pumped by the Witch's Oven. which was accurate. All right, let's go Luris. Solid footing. Actually, we'll go Glaring Aegis onto the Healer's Hawk. Tap you down. Doesn't really matter. Swing in. Pass the turn. Can Luris survive? Dude. Double Claim the Firstborn. Like the only card that really interacts well with our deck. And they've got two of them. So much life gain that they've got as well. I mean, they've gained 7 life and they're still, you know, under your life total. I mean, it shows that we do have power in this deck. We just have gotten pretty unlucky with it. We can't really play out Healer's Hawk, so let's go Hushbringer. If they have a third Claim the Firstborn, then we just never were destined to even have a shot at this game. Solid footing, should we be spreading it thin? Probably not. We'll go ahead and put it here. Put her there, sir. Hold back the Healer's Hawk. Swing in. Down to 15 past the turn. I've not really seen this version of the deck. I think I ran into like someone playing it up against it on YouTube, just kind of watching, not really intently. All right, so we're hoping for some way to gain some vigilance here. We can't block. Down to 18. There we go. Sentinel's Mark is perfect here. All right, that's huge. As long as they don't find another Claim the Firstborn, we now have everything that we need to close out this game. If they have Priest of the Forgotten Gods, yeah, we're just gonna have to hope for it. Swing in for 7. I guess we swing in here as well to give us almost 2 turn clock. They'll have to swing with Luris to have a shot at another turn. Do we give him the Healer's Hawk just to get rid of this Footlight Fiend as well? It gives us something else to target as well. Pass the turn. This is intense. Like camping. Fateful Passage. I mean, they've hit a land every turn, which is not typically good for their deck. Do they have more red mana? They're gonna slow roll the Claim the Firstborn. Steal it, swing in for 1.5 million here. Our life total is just high enough that we can maybe play it out for a few more turns. All right, so we have lethal. They can gain life. So not quite lethal still. Oh, we'll hold on to the plains. Swing in, swing in. All right, so they gain life there. They probably kill one of these guys to gain 1 more point of life. Down to 2, up to 37. Pass the turn. I'm just really glad they haven't found any like Priests of Forgotten Gods or anything like that. They've hit lands every turn. We've gotten pretty lucky there. I mean, we've only missed a couple of lands overall. No blocks. Our life total doesn't matter at all. Just keeping Healer's Hawk alive is the only thing that matters here. Goes up to 5. Gains. So they can go up to 8. The Hushbringer kills them. They can sack something else. Gain a little bit more. Oh, I forgot that the Footlight Fiend doesn't have a dice trigger. So the Healer's Hawk didn't matter. Right. So they can play it back out, sack it with Witch's Oven. Play another Healer's Hawk. So we missed out on 2 points of damage or 3 points of damage there that we could have got in with. I just forgot all about that being a dice trigger. I think of this so much as hosing the ETB effects that I forget about the other side of it. So they get to survive here. They have to sack something else. Or wait, no, they go to 1. Okay, down to 1. Pass the turn. We're letting him have more turns to find another claim to the Firstborn. Because this is best of 1, they shouldn't be running that many copies of it, though. Like, I feel like that's got to be a pretty greedy line to be having in your main deck. Footlight Fiend does nothing. We'll block here this time. I can't think of anything that will do 6 points of damage or give them, like, maybe they have something that gives them Death Touch. I highly doubt it. We're not killing the Lurrus. We probably should be. But I don't know how they get out of this still. All right, attack in. They go up to 7, 8. The 9, 10 should end them. Sorry, 9. Up to 5. They can sack here up to 6. Sack there. But then what? Like, even if they get to claim the Firstborn, we lose a little bit for a turn. All right, so they get to keep the Lurrus around. All right, yeah, I was going to say, I think that's lethal. Beautimus. All right, 2 and 2. Let's hope that I just keep my winning streak now, because we can't lose again. Okay, up against Skills. Bringing on Skills. Keep this. Go for Healer's Hawk. Pass the turn. We get some decent protection in this hand. Alright, so this is... I'm pretty sure this is the Winota deck. Shocking that in. Or it could be Adventures. I could go for the Aegis here. Hope to see if they play something out. And then we'll just like hold up the God's Willing. I'm wanting to draw out spells if we can. I'm thinking Adventures is what we're up against. There we go. Alright, so protection from red. With what we've got, having lands to get Lurrus actually like using all Seed of Life's Bounty every turn could be pretty nice. But I guess we just hit him when we hit him. We don't need any more than 3 mana in this deck, really, ever. Alright, swing in. They could have Brazen Borrower Steel. We got rid of 2 spells. Dude, Adventure is also busted. Alright, all that glitters. Do you have the Brazen Borrower? We can't play the All-Seed and still protect it, and so I think we're just going to go for damage here. And we'll try to go for All-Seed on the next turns. I mean, this is getting in for 6 points of damage this turn. If we find anything else, like we have the other enchantment here to get them for 7 on the next turn. Any other enchantment gives us lethal. Oh, they just shocked themselves too. All right, potential Brazen Borrower then? Or another Growth Spiral. Oh, is this, oh gosh, they got it. For the love. This could be Wilderness Wreck as well. They didn't shock themselves. I don't think playing Lurrus without All-Seed is worthwhile though, so we'll play Healer's Hawk, we'll play Life's Bounty, hope for no Storm's Wrath. If they do have it, All-Seed Life's Bounty helps a little bit. Maybe we should have led with that. Pass the turn. Land isn't terrible, it lets us play Lurrus and something and protect All-Seed Life's Bounty. So we're still definitely in this game. It's so hard to build a deck that counters everything that's in this format right now. This format has just been so bonkers. Sentinel's Eyes is kind of nice. All right, so let's go Lurrus with the protection. Need to play some stuff into the graveyard. Ionize, seriously? Who plays Ionize nowadays? Rude people. Got him. Losing the Life's Bounty. We're still in stomp range. If they go for any kind of counter. Brazen Borrower can block the Healer's Hawk, but not the Life's Bounty. So like, it is a little bit awkward going here. I was doing that kind of thinking with Lurrus in mind. Swing in for 3. Down to 9, past the turn. Yeah, this is feeling like a Wilderness Wreck deck, I think. Unless it's just Teamer Control. This could be the Teamer Control with like Genesis Ultimatum as the top end. I've seen some versions of this deck that do something similar. Kmetra's Blessing is sweet here. All right, so they're probably going to go for the Brazen Borrower, thinking that we forgot about it. Go for the block. We get to kill that now. And still hold a protection. Oh, bummer. Whoa, Nelly. All right, well, let's go ahead and kill the Brazen Borrower. I think that's still the best play. Maybe just playing Sentinel's Eyes onto the All-Seed of Life's Bounty would have been better. You've got to be kidding me. That is so many of the perfect answers. Oh my goodness. Guess it doesn't matter anymore, right? So we'll get rid of Lurrus. Cry. If we find a Glaring Aegis, we can at least get through the Brazen Borrower, or at least one of them. Swings in, no blocks. Down to 20. Hushbringer. Gotta be kidding me! Who plays this kind of deck anymore? No attacks, pass the turn. We can find the right cards to put this into a stalemate. Having Vigilance on this Healer's Hawk is really nice. Do they just have Stomp? Dude. literally every single perfect card against us. Oh, wow. All right, are we actually dead on this turn? We find a lifelinker between Sentinel's Eyes, All That Glitters. We can still survive the turn after. So pass the turn. Dude, I have the worst luck when it comes to Magic. It honestly makes it less fun to play sometimes when it's just this. Are they going to have another Essence Scatter after everything? Yes, onto my creature. The issue is that it wasn't a flyer, so good game. Oh, for the rude. They could swing in the air and still win there, so we had to have a flyer with lifelink to actually do anything. My goodness. Dude, why don't I ever draw that same way? Yeah. That's a bummer. I feel like this deck is definitely powerful. There's definitely, I mean, we were doing busted things. People just seem to have all the answers kind of out of nowhere. Like cards that you don't typically see them play, or like they'll have maybe one of or two of in the deck, so they just had all the time against us. We were putting together massive creatures every single game and swinging in and being aggressive. And typically that is enough to close out games. We just got unlucky with a lot of different situations there. I mean, I think this is the perfect deck for standard right now? No, I just didn't want to play like the Jeskai Luca deck or whatever. I don't want to play things that I think are going to get banned. Besides Lurrus, which I think Lurrus, I don't want them to ban the card itself. I want them to ban the companion mechanic. I think that companion mechanic should just be done with. They should never have done it. I think it's interesting for them to at least, you know, showcase what it could be like, and for us to recognize that if you have an eighth card in your hand that's exactly built around your archetype, it's just as good as having a seventh card in your hand that's built completely around your deck. I mean, like, if you could start every deck with a Winota in your hand, you would lose half of the inconsistency of that deck. What? Who would have known that that's a really good thing? And it's the only reason why a singleton format like Commander can still be consistent is by having a commander in your command zone. What? Anyway, I'm really frustrated with Wizards right now. I really hope that June 1st will come around and that they'll just get rid of Agent of Treachery, Fires of Invention. I'm fine with Teferi going away. Winota makes sense to take away as well because it's still a bonkers busted card, but it also can be interacted with somewhat. They need to change the wording on it too, actually. So those are probably the four that have to go, and then companion mechanic needs to be done away with. Honestly, it's going to be hard to play Magic still if those things aren't done, because they just have really messed up recently with stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.